በዓለም አቀፍ የስዕል መድረክ ከፍተኛ አድናቆትና ዝናን ያተረፈችው ትውልደ ኢትዮጵያዊቷ አርቲስት ጁሊ ምህረቱ በኢትዮጵያ ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ የስዕል ሥራዎቿን በአውደ ርዕይ መልክ ልታቀርብ ወደ አገር ቤት ገብታለች። የአሜሪካን ኤምባሲ ከገብረ ክርስቶስ ደስታ የስዕል ሙዚየም ጋር በጋራ በመሆን ያሰናዳው የአውደ ርዕዩ መክፈቻ ባሳለፍነው ሳምንት ማብቂያ ላይ ነበር የተካሄደው። በመክፈቻው ስነ ስርዓት በኢትዮጵያ የአሜሪካን አምባሳደር የሆኑትን ፓትሪሺያ ስላክን ጨምሮ የውጭ ጉዳይ ሚኒስትሩ ዶክተር ቴድሮስ አድሃኖምና የአዲስ አበባ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ፕሬዝዳንት ዶክተር አድማሱ ጸጋዬ በክብር እንግድነት የተገኙ ሲሆን በመክፈቻው ላይ ባደረጉት ንግግር ጁሊ የሁለቱን አገራት ግንኙነት እንደምታጠናክርና እንደ ድልድይ እንደምታገለግልም አምባሳደሯ ገልጸዋል። ዶክተር ቴድሮስ አድሃኖም ለወጣት አርቲስቶች አርአያ መሆኗን ጠቅሰው ለአገራችን ሰዓሊያንም ጥሩ መነቃቃት እንደምትፈጥር ገልጸዋል። ከኢትዮጵያዊ አባትና ከአሜሪካዊት እናት ተወልዳ ኑሯን በኒውዮርክ ከተማ ያደረገችው ጁሊ በርካታ ሥራዎችን በተለያዩ የዓለም አገራት በመዘዋወር ያሳየች ሲሆን አሁን ደግሞ 17 የስዕል ሥራዎቿን ይዛ ነው ወደ ኢትዮጵያ የመጣችው። በዘመኑ ካሉ ምርጥ ሰዓሊያን ተርታ የምትጠራው ጁሊ በቅርቡ ከሥራዎቿ መካከል አንዱ የሆነውን በ4 ሚሊዮን ዶላር የተሸጠላት ሲሆን በኢትዮጵያም የሚዘጋጀው አውደ ርዕይ ለሁሉም የጥበብ አፍቃሪያን ክፍት የሚሆንና ከፍተኛ ተወዳጅነትን እንደሚያተርፍ ተስፋ ተደርጓል። የተወደዳችሁ የድሬቲዩብ ተከታታዮቻችን የአሜሪካ ኤምባሲ ከገብረ ክርስቶስ ደስታ የስዕል ሙዚየም ጋር በጋራ በመሆን ያሰናዳውን አውደ ርዕይ መክፈቻ ትከታተሉ ዘንድ ጋበዝን።
Excellency, Ambassador Patricia Haslat, United States Ambassador to Ethiopia, Dr. Admas Agaye, President of Addis University, Professor Amrashate, Advisor to the Prime Minister, Excellencies, invited guests, artists and art lovers. It is a great honor to showcase the works of Julie Mehretu at the only modern art museum of the country, the Gebre Desta Center of Addis University, named after the pioneer modernist Gebre Desta. I remember the excitement in 2005, the first year that I returned to Ethiopia, to head the Institute of Ethiopian Studies, when Professor Amrashate, former president of Addis University, and myself received the 32 works of Gebre Desta that was buried in the museum in Munich from the embassy of the German Federal Republic. The same excitement reigned this week when we received the works of Julie Mehretu, an unprecedented event similar to the one in 2005. Who would have thought then in 2005 that the works of Gebre Desta would ever come back to Ethiopia, and moreover would have a museum named after him? And who would have thought today that the works of Julie Mehretu, one of Ethiopia's most prominent artists, would be hosted at the same museum? It was with the generous effort of the government of the Federal Republic of Germany and the diligent effort of art lover Professor Andreas Schete that the works of Gebre Desta came home in 2005. And it is with the same generous effort of the United States government and its embassy to Ethiopia, as well as the persistent optimism of Professor Dagmar Wishat, Professor of Literature at Cornell University, that the museum is showcasing Ethiopian-American artist Julie Mehretu today. Ambivalent as I was to host such an artist show in relation to her caliber and the complexity that such caliber requires, he managed to work it out, and I'm deeply grateful for Dagmawi's tenacious efforts in the past few months. Of course, the museum showcased the works of Olafur Eliasson, another prominent artist of the decade, in March last year, but his works were locally assembled and did not require the curatorial strategies that Julie's work required. I would like to welcome everyone here and thank all those who were involved in the production of this exhibition, and particularly the Embassy of the United States of America, its ambassador, Ambassador Haslak, who is an avid art lover, and during her stay here, had managed to promote a vibrant artistic culture. She's built an expansive collection of Ethiopian art in the embassy, both at the Chancery and the Ambassador's residence, and I'm deeply grateful for her enthusiasm and support. The cultural attaché of the embassy, Mr. Learndees, who had been extremely supportive from the first day we had proposed the project to him. We're extremely grateful for all your effort learned to make this show successful. It is unfortunate that both Ambassador Haslak and cultural attaché Mr. Dees are both leaving Ethiopia soon, since it's not often that both ambassador and cultural attaché are in tandem in promoting the arts. I would also like to thank the Goethe Institute, its director, Dr. Julia Sadler, who is unfortunately not here today, and as always, its administrator, Desta. We've collaborated with the Goethe Institute in almost all the projects we have done since the museum's inception. They've supported us not only in financial assistance, but as you can see, in sharing venues and all. And as always, I'm very thankful for their support. I'd also like to thank the President of Addis University, Dr. Admasu Tsagay, for making all the necessary arrangements that the exhibition required, the Dean of the College of Performing and Visual Art, which the museum is administered by, Ato Nebi Yubaye, and all the artists who have helped us in producing this fantastic show. Most of all, I would like to thank Julie herself, not only for agreeing to exhibit her works in our humble museum, surely extremely humble compared to all the venues that she has exhibited her works, but also in accommodating what could not be accommodated from our end, which was quite a lot. And welcome home, Julie. Indeed, your show here will not only invigorate the arts, but will also set precedents in encouraging other African diaspora artists to come back home to share their success, even his home is not as sophisticated as the Western art platforms, and even as home is meagerly resourced in terms of equipment that a modern art museum should hold. And we found that out with the 28 pages of insurance papers that were sent by the insurer of your works. Me and Dagmari almost thought that the exhibition was not going to happen when we had to respond non-existent to almost all the questions asked by the insurer, such as humidifier, non-existent, air conditioner, non-existent, storage, non-existent, temperature regulator, non-existent. The only response with words other than non-existent was the nearest fire station, which was Gebre. In our favor, since it's not far from the museum. Our response scared the insurance company, and they promptly responded, not a good idea to have Julie's works here in your museum. But thank you, Julie, for pressing on them the importance of the show, that they had to finally agree to our, in quotation, primitive conditions. We have not only proudly accepted our invitation, and moreover have made the necessary support to make it happen. And I thank you for that, since it means a lot to many of us, artists, art historians, curators who work under tough conditions in relation to promoting a vibrant and critical culture in the arts that your work most emphatically embraces. We're also honored today by the presence of Dr. Tedros Adhanom, Minister of Foreign Affairs, who has graciously accepted our invitation to open the exhibition, and I now call upon His Excellency to make a brief remark.
በአማርኛ መናገር ነበር የምፈልገው ግን ብዙ አማርኛውን የማይሰሙ ስላሉ እንግዲህ ሞክራለሁ የተጫጫረልኝ። እሺ First of all, I would like to welcome Julie Mehretu. She doesn't know me, but I know a lot about her. And we share one thing, Afro. So ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure that I welcome Julie Mehretu and her homecoming exhibition, to the Modern Art Museum Gebre Kristos Desta Center of Addis University. Julie is one of the finest painters in the world today, and makes me very proud to say that. And she has achieved international acclaim that all Ethiopians are proud of. Like Gebre Kristos Desta, I don't know if you have heard me actually reading his poem during the first diaspora day, but you don't have time today, so I will not do that. But I invite you or encourage you to read. Skender Bogassian and Afwork Tekle, Julie is among a very elite group of artists who have put Ethiopia's name on the global stage, on the world map. So we have a good reason to be proud. In the last few years, our national art scene has become vibrant. Addis Ababa now boasts of a biennial international photo festival called Addis Photo Fest. Another amazing Ethiopian woman, Aida Mulune, and the work of internationally acclaimed Danish Icelandic artist Olafur Eliassen was exhibited here at the Gebre Kristos Desta Center recently, to name but two major examples, despite all the shortcomings that you have listed. But we have to improve it anyway. We have to accept the challenges and address them. It's our hope that the coming of Julie's works will further reinvigorate the contemporary art scene in Ethiopia and invite art lovers from Ethiopia and all over the world to witness and appreciate our cultural renaissance. Julie, we welcome you to your homeland, and we hope this is only the beginning of a long-lasting relationship with the country of your birth. You are a cultural ambassador of Ethiopia, and soon you will become converted from diaspora to Balestra. Then going back to where I know you, it's Michigan, it's lasting, but I have one little secret I cannot say here. But I assure you that the ambassador is making a noise here, because when I claim she's Ethiopian, she's saying, no, she's the bridge, she belongs to both of us. And I agree. And thank you so much for being the bridge between Ethiopia and the US. And then I will tell you some little secrets, maybe not secrets to others. Do you know that her painting, Untitled One, was sold in 2010 by $1 million? No, then the other one at the Art Puzzle in 2014. The white cube was sold, that's the Mambo Jumbo. That's the reason. It's not the money actually, this was sold $5 million. Wow. If I'm wrong, I don't know. But the reason, US dollars, not there. In Bear it's more than 100 million. So that can build a hospital, actually, good hospital. Then that painting is called Mambo Jumbo. And that attracted me actually. It was not the cost or whatever. Because when people ask me what I do, I say I'm the minister of Mambo Jumbo. What? Mambo Jumbo. And they ask me why. Because I'm everywhere and nowhere. I do everything and end of the day, nothing. Maybe the ambassador will not be happy. Then when my colleagues were not happy, then I started saying, I am a salesperson. So the Mambo Jumbo was converted into salesperson. But I didn't know Mambo Jumbo actually costs $5 million. So even my colleagues should not have actually complained. I'm very proud, Julie. I'm very proud to be here. I wanted to be here since I was invited. Very proud of you, proud of your work. And you are the model and a good model for the youth in our country, and I hope as a pathfinder you continue to show them the path. Thank you so much.
I want to say, first of all, good evening, wonderful Dr. Tedros, Dr. Edmasu, our dear friend Elizabeth, Dr. Maui, and most of all, Julie. And we're all on first name basis right now. So I want to welcome everyone. And I also want to welcome to this room many of the Ethiopian artists that over the last 3 years I've really had the privilege of meeting. Many of them are also beyond my price range too. But I enjoy many of their works, and I can see many of them in the audience. So it's my distinct honor to co-host the opening of Julie Mehretu, the Addis show. I especially want to thank Elizabeth and Dr. Maui, who visited my office, I think it was about 6 months ago, and shared their vision of this exhibit. I'm happy to see it's come to fruition with this evening's event. This exhibition surely is one of the most significant events in Ethiopia's cultural calendar this year. Indeed, it marks a significant artistic homecoming for one of the world's most talented and indeed successful artists. Julie has won more awards than I can name, including a MacArthur Award, commonly known as the Genius Award. She's also done exhibits around the world, and I'm told from a reliable source, Dr. Tedros, commands top dollar for her work. She commands top dollar for her work. As you know, Julie is a daughter of both Ethiopia and the United States, and this show provides, I'm sure, a platform to build further engagement with the Ethiopian art and culture community. Indeed, it is this vibrant art community represented by so many of you here tonight, including many of the young students, which has propelled Ethiopia to the forefront of the cultural scene in Africa. So while we celebrate the great vision and accomplishments of Julie Mehretu, I also want to acknowledge the dynamic contributions of those of you on hand tonight who have built into such a cultural powerhouse. Julie's work is in a sense a legacy of the work that has gone before her, but it is her unique vision that has brought her and her work to center stage. And I had the opportunity of actually going in and seeing some of the work, and what struck me and will likely struck many of you is that I can see some of your work in some of the contemporary Ethiopian artists today. So clearly they are following your work, and it's such a compliment to see that two-way exchange. So tonight, as you view her work, you'll see some of her earlier pieces and some very recent pieces. You'll see that as an artist, she's on a journey which is far from over. The beauty of her abstract work is that it challenges us to examine each piece like we must examine the world around us. The themes of architecture, cities, and growth are some of the topics that Julie has explored, and this is a socially relevant topic that resonates with all of those of us who have watched Addis change. And Julie and I were talking about that, how things have changed since the last time you were here. Every day you can see the changes. In short, her art helps us connect the dots, so to speak, both to see things in a different light and to think critically about our reality. That is the characteristic of a great artist, someone who helps us to see important things differently. Tonight, on behalf of the U.S. Embassy, I'm proudly welcoming our honored guest, Julie Mehretu. I look forward to enjoying this historic exhibit as we celebrate with you, Julie, in this deeply meaningful homecoming. Thanks to all of you, and thanks to Learner Dees. This is his last big event.
Dr. Tedros Adhanom, Minister of Foreign Affairs, dear Ambassador Safiga, dear invited guests, dear our Julia Mehretu, on behalf of Addis Ababa University and myself, I welcome you to this exhibition. I am really pleased that Addis Ababa University, through its Gebre Kristos Desta Center of College of Performing and Visual Artists, is able to host the exhibition of the great Julie Mehretu due to a number of reasons. As you know, the three imperative exercises of the higher education institutions are teaching, learning, research, and community service. Having this exhibition of Julia Mehretu entitled the Addis Show and the associated activities such as the workshops and public lectures with our staff and students will definitely be a rare opportunity to enhance these academic exercises. I am sure that Julie Mehretu works of world acclaim will inspire our young and aspiring student artists and staff members. It will also serve as a venue for exchange of experiences and thoughts. I also hope that the exhibition serves as a skyline in the philosophy and style of the great Julie Mehretu. Dear Julie Mehretu, I know that your father, Professor Asafa Mehretu, was our distinguished faculty at the Department of Geography. I would like to express to you in this occasion that we highly appreciate his service to our university in various regards. It is also in this additional attachment that I prefer to call you our own. It can be said that you are continuing the legacy of your father and his colleagues in contributing to the age-long endeavor of seeking knowledge and wisdom at Addis Ababa University. Thank you very much. I hope that your stay at Addis Ababa University will also be fruitful and memorable as a person and an inspiring one for another artistic work of the world stature. I want to assure you that you can anytime come to Addis Ababa and we will always be proud to host you. Lastly, I would like to thank the American Embassy in Addis Ababa and the Ambassador, Her Excellency Ambassador Patricia, the Cultural Attaché, Mr. Lerner, our staff members, and everyone who contributed to realization of this landmark exhibition. Well, as you know, Addis Ababa University is the oldest and the largest higher education institution in Ethiopia. Nowadays, we are focusing on graduate program. Definitely, at the end of the day, we can contribute significantly to the development of our country. Thank you very much.
I now invite my friend, my little brother, my colleague, Professor Dagmar Rushet, the curator of Julie Mehretu.
Let me begin by thanking all of you for coming to this opening reception of this landmark exhibition, Julie Mehretu, the Addis Show, Julie Mehretu, Addis Ababa, and especially thank His Excellency, Dr. Tedros Adhanom, for officially launching the exhibition, and Her Excellency, Ambassador Patricia Haslak, who from the very outset has been a staunch supporter of this exhibition. I also want to take this occasion to thank Dr. Admasu and the university for the full support that they've shown us in staging this show. Bear with me, I'm going to be brief, but there are a few people I'd like to thank and also recognize our sponsors before saying a few words about the show. First and foremost, my thanks to Dr. Etsavet Georgis, the director of the Gebre Kristos Desta Center. She is my dear friend, my collaborator, and without whom it is a fact this show would not have been possible. And CA, this exhibition is yet another example of your fearless commitment to the arts and the humanities, and I hope you are very proud of what we have achieved collectively. Another critical person is Mr. Learned Dees, the cultural attaché of the U.S. Embassy. Was just critical in making the show happen. Learned, my brother, thank you for believing about the show, on the show from the very beginning and ensuring its success at every step of the process, and doing it with such elegant and effortless diplomacy. So I want to thank you and your extended staff. It's you and many, many people at the American Embassy who've made this possible. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for those kind words. I think just to start with everybody and the warm welcome and the words that you all shared, I'd just like to thank all of you, Dr. Tedros, Ambassador Haslak, Dr. Admasu, sorry, I misread it. I didn't meet you until today. Dr. Elizabeth and Dr. Professor Dagmari. I'm overwhelmed by being here and by the welcome with all of you. I'm completely honored to be here in Ethiopia with my entire family of origin, my parents, my brother, sister, all of our children, nieces and nephews, and my 2 children and partner. All of us are here. We've been traveling. And this show, when Dad made this proposal, it coincided with this trip that we were doing for my father's retirement. And so much has come up through that conversation and is overwhelming in a sense. But I think the history of Ethiopian art and the history of Ethiopia's creative modernist effort was a leader on the continent in such a voracious and amazing way. And to be able to be here and I've met that you named so many architects, artists, just in a few moments that I've been here, who are really rigorously engaged with the issues that you raised in terms of this city, the changes of the city, the evolution of the city, the growth of the city and the country, and its dynamic in a bigger geopolitical sense. It's an honor for me to be here and be a part of that, and I look forward to the coming days of symposium and the discourse that we will have between each other, and again to meeting with students and the type of conversation we can have with each other, with the students and with other working artists here, and learning from them as well as being able to engage in argument and discourse about how we can deal with the idea of making art. I couldn't agree more that art and creative thinking, imaginative thinking, is what is required in all venues, and whether it leads or whether any other form, in any form of creative governance, education, thinking. It requires a sense of intense imagination and not repeat and recursive kind of ideas, but really how can something else be constructed and made and imagined and thought and challenged and developed and evolved. And so for me, this type of thing contributes to that, as a part of that, and I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you all. And Dag, when I first met you, the conversation we had led to this, and there's very rare that you meet somebody where you have this connection that goes so deep, and I really am honored so much that you've taken my work into your work in the same way and embrace it. So thank you.
Now, since there's a lot of people, I will now ask Julie and Dagmari to accompany Excellency Dr. Tedros Adhanom, Excellency Ambassador Haslak, Dr. Admasu Tsegaye. I don't know if Professor Andreas will be willing, but for Julie and Dagmari to go into the museum to open the exhibition. And once they come out, people can go in freely in and out to the reception and to the exhibition. Since there's a lot of people, please take note of the number of people in the museum. So, just wait until people come out to see the exhibition. Thank you all for coming.
How can I not?
Okay.
Julie got so the way that paintings are origins of a lot of the cultures, so Marx started to make some